Hey y'all, welcome back to Miggy Mike's Milagros. You're here with Miggy Mike. And on today's topic, what we're going to be talking about is love work. Now, I wanted to get into this as one of the fundamental works because I know a lot of the reasons why people get into work, the spiritual work a lot of the time, is because they want that lover back, because they want that person to fall in love with them, because they think it's the only way that they're going to be happy is if they put a spell on somebody. Y'all, this is not the way to go. This is definitely, there are better things that you can do to help yourself to be with the more ideal person that you should be with. And it is not coercive work. It is not bending the will of somebody else so that way you can be happy in what you think your wildest dreams are going to be when you make it with this person. I can tell y'all, I've seen from experience, I've seen through clients, I've seen this work get blown up in your face. I've seen it cause way more damage than any good that you think that it could bring. So, love work, right? Now there's different forms of what I'll say love work is. There's friendship. Maybe you want that old friendship back, right? You want to reconcile that. Maybe it is a marriage that's on the rocks and you want to reconcile that. Maybe it's someone you had an argument with and you want to mend that. There's definitely times and places when love work is definitely applicable and when it should be applied to help with relationships. The things that I just mentioned right now, for example, so if you had a fight with your spouse or your partner or your loved one, you can definitely do work, and I would encourage you to do work to help mend that relationship, to help fix that kink, in your relationship or whatever it is, so that way you guys can get back to where you need to get to. Sometimes, and a lot of people don't think of this as spiritual, but it's definitely spiritual maintenance. Sometimes it is having those hard conversations with your loved ones about what it is that bothers you, why it is that you guys got into that argument in the first place. That is definitely a part of spiritual healing. It's a part of spiritual development, because being able to, one, have the balls to go ahead and say, maybe these are the places that I messed up. Maybe these are the places where I could have been a little bit better or appreciated you more or taken the time to listen to what you had to say, right? Like, that's a part of your spiritual development. That's a part of helping you become a better being overall. Because it is hard, y'all, because our loved ones usually take a lot of the blows because we get frustrated, but we know that they're going to be there. You have to be really careful, because just because you think that someone that loves you is going to be there forever does not make it so. You need to really build that relationship. You need to grow with that relationship. It is just like a plant. You need to be able to seed that from the very beginning, and you need to nurture it. You need to feed it. You need to make sure that it has enough warmth. You need to make sure that it's not being suffocated. You need to make sure that it's eating the right nutrients. It's getting the right things that it needs to in order to thrive and to be healthy. So, when doing love work, if you're reconciling something with a loved one, that makes sense. To me, that definitely applies when you need to do work like that in order to help your relationship. I definitely think that that's justified. I think that there's definitely a place for that. Now, when you're making them do what you say and bend over and whatever I say goes and shit like that, like, that's not cool. That's not cool, and you wouldn't want someone to do that work to you, so why are you going to go and do it to someone else? Now, if it's type of thing where it's like they're being really possessive and stuff like that, well, hey, there's definitely work that you can do to make them ease up. There's definitely work that you can do to even the playing field, but you should never go at it like, I'm gonna dominate this person and I'm gonna rule this house and all that with an iron fist and what I say goes. You shouldn't do that, because you wouldn't want to be suffocated like that as well. So you should definitely not be someone that is like that to others, because it will not work out. Your relationship will not be healthy or happy, and it will be definitely unhealthy. So there's balance, right? But you can definitely do some sweetening work, and I'm going to show you guys the trabajos in the future of how to do sweetening work for your partners, for your loved ones, for your managers, for, etc., right? For friends and all that kind of stuff. But I really want to get down more or less the ethics of love work, and should you be doing it, and maybe you should go about it a different way. Maybe going after that one person that you think is the right one, maybe that's not the right way to go about it. So with friendship, same thing applies. If it's definitely something where it's like, hey, you kind of fucked up in some places, well, then definitely do what you need to do on your end in order to reprimand that, in order to pay back whatever it is that you did. If you're the one at fault, own up to it, because it'll be a lot easier on you and on them. It'll just be easier for your relationship, and for your friendship, and it'll help it grow, because not all relationships are cool 100% of the time. You have to build, you have to grow. That's a part of a healthy relationship. If you stay stagnant, that shit gets boring, and it will wilt and it will die, because both of you are just there. You're not thriving, you're not growing. Part of being in a relationship and a partnership is growing. That's definitely what I love about being with my partner, is we are constantly, in my opinion, helping each other grow. I know that she helps me grow tremendously, helps push me do things that I might not think that I'm ready for, but she sees it in me. And that's so helpful when you have the support of your loved ones, right? And so there's definitely times where there's things that you have to work on, and sitting down and talking with your partner, not even doing any spiritual work if it doesn't need to be done, but just sitting down and talking to them will help your relationship a lot. When you both are cool-headed and you both have things that you need to say, maybe you write it down so that way you can get across everything that you need to say in a healthy and concise way, so that way it's not just a bunch of yelling and going back and forth, because that doesn't help anybody. Other things, so we got friendships, we got mending with our partner and stuff like this. Now there are times where doing love work for maybe someone feels a little cold, maybe your partner, your spouse is just being a little bit cold. You can definitely do some work to heat them up, to kind of peel back whatever it is that's going on. You can do some work to help your relationship, to help them be more open. Maybe it's something they want to talk about but they don't know how to bring it up. There's definitely work that you can do to help them bring that along, right? So that's definitely something along like communication, spiritual work, in order to help open them up, open a heart relationship, right? In order to build clear communication. There's lots of work that you can do for that kind of stuff, but you have to know what you should do. You have to really think about it objectively. If I've seen these two people, what is the best course of action that I should go about doing this work? Not, I want this person to do what I say and as I will, and that's it, and that's how I'm going to run this house. You shouldn't do that. That is not cool, not helpful, not going to help anybody else. So, doing work like that, helping to mend a relationship, helping to mend a marriage. There are times, if the work is justified, hey, do what you need to do. If you find out that your partner's out there cheating, that they're doing all this other crazy shit, hey, you definitely have a right to do some work to keep the asses home, to tie them down, so to speak, to tie their nature, and that's a whole other work. But you definitely have the right. If they're messing up the family unit and it's you need them, then there's definitely work that you can do in order to help you with that. There's justified works. It just really depends on what it is you need to do, and is it worth it? Is it worth doing that work, or is you gonna find a better one down the road? You know what I mean? So just, you really need to think about that, and that's really what I want to stress in this video, is really think about the kind of love work that you need and the kind that you should be doing. Now, ethics, you guys really have to remember that ethically you gotta be cool. Ethically, you gotta kind of know, like I said, objectively how this should go down, what it is that people should be doing, and how you think that it should go down, right? Like, but look at it, like I said, ethically. Look at it like, what is going to help this relationship? Is it being together? Is it not being together? And if it is, what does that look like? What are the different steps that need to be taken in order to help mend and to build this relationship, so that way it thrives and it grows beautifully and strong for you, the partner, children, the family unit. So that way it helps, because it builds y'all up so much when everything is running smooth in the house and clear communication. It helps build you. It helps build you spiritually, mentally, emotionally, physically. You guys feel better. You are better. Communication is beautiful. Those are awesome things, y'all. So, now, the final thing that I want to touch on real quick is the love work that I do think is definitely applicable, and for people that are looking into doing love work because they want to find a partner. This is what I would suggest. I would suggest you don't go out looking for the one that you think is the right one. I would say that you go and you really sit with yourself. What is it that, why do you want a partner? Do you want a partner because you're lonely? Do you want a partner because you want someone else that can help you with chores. Really get down to the reasoning why you want a partner. Is it because you want to be in love, you want to find love, you think you're ready to love? That's the other thing too. Are you ready to love? Are you ready to love someone as with whatever it is you got going on? And are you ready to love someone because of their faults, because of their shortcomings, right? So you really have to think about, are you ready emotionally, spiritually, mentally? Are you ready to be in a relationship? Are you ready to take on the responsibility of taking care of someone else when they need you? Because that's going to happen. A partnership and a relationship relies on each other. You need to rely on the other person at times in order to get through life. I mean, that's just what it is. I mean, that's why we, thank the gods, thank the spirits that we have our families, because damn, y'all, without our family and loved ones getting through this life, getting through this world, it would be a lot harder. We would be a lot colder most of the time. But thankfully, thank the spirits, we got our family and loved ones. They might not all be perfect, but there's a couple of them that get damn near close, right? So definitely do a little check. See where you're at mentally, see where you're at emotionally. Can you take on the responsibility of being in a relationship? And what does that look like to you? What does it look like to you to be in a relationship? What does that mean, right? Like, clear communication, being able to be there for that person, being able to depend on that person, you being able to rely on them whenever it needs to be, or whatever guidelines or rules that you have. You need to really put that in place mentally before you go and doing this spiritual work and thinking that you want so-and-so because they're super hot and you heard they get down in bed and ooh, they got that money and all that other shit. You need to really make sure if you're ready to be in a relationship, because if you're not ready, that's okay, but do some self-love work. Do work on yourself where you're cultivating that love, where you're cultivating that balance, where you're cultivating and understanding who you are, what you want, what you don't want, where you want to go. And look for someone that's like that and that can help benefit you in those ways. But also look for a little bit of contrast. Because believe me and my partner definitely got a lot of contrast. I do all this spiritual work. She is a Christian. Never in my wildest dreams would I've ever thought that I would be in a relationship with a Christian because of all this amazing things that I do that is often misunderstood. Thank the Holy Trinity. Thank the Goddess. Thank my spirits, my ancestors, all y'all, because it works, and it works beautifully, and it is amazing, and I'm so grateful, so grateful. And it's beautiful when you're in a relationship and you can really think that and know that and say, fuck, I love this. I love being in this relationship. I love how I feel when I see this person. I love being around this person. I love having the conversations I do with this person, and even just being in the room with them, like those things matter. Really look into it, really investigate for yourself what that looks like. Work on self-love. Do some work. Do some meditation. Go out walking and look in the mirror. Tell yourself you love yourself. Say, I love you. And look at yourself. And in the beginning, believe me, I did this work in my early 20s, late teens, where for weeks, I looked in the mirror and I said, I love you. You're amazing. You're strong. I believe in you. Just a couple of things, couple of affirmations, and that was it. In the beginning, I felt weird as fuck. It felt like, bro, you were just talking to yourself, you fucking weirdo. But over time, after the weeks, and I'm not bullshitting, after a couple weeks, after about 2 weeks, 3 weeks, I started to believe it. I really started to believe that all those things I was telling myself in the mirror, that it was true. That I am amazing. I am awesome. I am powerful. I am highly blessed and highly favored by my spirits. And it's true. I am. You can cultivate that. Cultivate the blessings that you need in yourself in order to be in a good relationship, in a healthy relationship for someone else. It will pay off, and believe me, it'll save you a lot of drama, a lot of bullshit, a lot of hurt, a lot of sadness, a lot of tears, all that stuff. It will help you. Doing those things, loving yourself, the most important thing. It might sound cheesy, whatever, it is the truth. It's coming from someone like me who is very cynical about most of this type of lovey-dovey stuff. But believe me, y'all, it's true. I mean, it's really true, and relationships will challenge the hell out of you in ways you did not know. Personal experience. I'm definitely can speak from that, And so just really look at where you are. Do an evaluation. Think about what love looks like to you. Think about what a loving person you could be and what that looks like and what you're willing to do in order to be in a healthy and strong relationship, because it's not easy work. But love isn't easy. But love is beautiful, and love is strong, and love can get past most bullshit. So really look into that, really evaluate what that looks like. But I want to give you an example, y'all, before I go, because I've been rattling. So if you do, when you find that, you know what, I am confident, I am ready for love, and I am willing and ready to put in the tasks and all that encompasses and all that deals with, I'm ready. Okay. Now what I would do is, first and foremost, like I always say, you always pray to your higher powers. Look in the last video or the last 3 videos or something like that to know what that looks like. I'll probably put a link up here, down here. So always pray first. Pray to your spirits. Get your mind right. Get your space right. Get your space cleansed. All that good stuff. Get your materials. Something simple that I would say is, right now Spirit is telling me get a white candle and get a red candle. Okay. Cool. So I would get a white candle, and this would be for my spirits. This would be to help feed my spirits, to pray to them, to call to them to help and assist me in this work. So get a white candle like this one, right? Now, get a red candle, because this one is that passion, this is that fire, this is that power. This is going to help to bring to you that partner, wherever it is, wherever they are, etc. Okay? You could, if you wanted to, actually, let's say this: white candle, orange candle. Orange opens the way. It's a combination of yellow and red, I believe, and that's a nice road opener. It has that power, and it also has that uplifting energy of yellow. So I would go ahead and get my supplies. The supplies, like I said, are the white candle and the orange candle. I would grab a piece of paper, and I would go ahead and write the ideal things that I want in a partner. I want them to be trusting. I want them to be loving. I want them to be sexy. I want them to be good in bed. I want them to be a good conversationalist. I want them to understand me. I want them to get along with my family and my loved ones. I want them to have a cool temper. I want them to be able to go with the flow, etc., etc., etc. You go ahead and list whatever it is that you want in a relationship. Don't make it too complicated. Bullet points, right? Good sex or great sex or whatever. Great looking, good conversationalist, gets along with my family, whatever it is. List off those things. Really sit and focus and think about what it is that you want. Because what you're doing right now is you're building that. You're going ahead and building that relationship that you're looking for. You're not focusing on a specific person. Let's say you like someone with dark hair. Go ahead and visualize that. Go ahead and just visualize someone with dark hair. I'm not telling you that that's going to be the exact person that you want, because it might not be. They might have light hair. That's okay. They might have red hair, purple hair, blue hair. You never know. So, but list the ideal things so that way it helps Spirit narrow down what it is that you want without getting too narrow that you are only going after like 2 people in your fucking whole entire city or social media or whatever it is, right? But go ahead and list off those things that you want. And when you're doing that, like I said, you're focusing on your intention, your goal, what it is that you're after, and you're praying to your higher power. You're praying to them what it is that you want. You're praying to them what the ideal person is like, and you're praying to them and asking them to guide your work and to guide you into that right relationship, to open the roads for you and that person to meet, so that way you can go ahead and do what you need to do. Because what a lot of magic does, y'all, you gotta realize this too. Magic opens the opportunity. It opens the way. It tilts the scale of fate in your favor. It's not a guarantee that the work's gonna work. What it does is it says, okay, let's open the way. The path of least resistance is one thing that a lot of people like to say, is that magic follows the path of least resistance. The least resistance that it has to go through, that's the path that it's going to go through. So you need to do your work to remove any blocks, to remove any obstacles, whether that's you, whether that's other people, whatever it is, the situations that you're going on, whatever it is. It helps to remove those blocks in order to open the way, so that way it's easier for you and that person to meet. Because if there's a lot of resistance, work can still be done without a doubt. It just takes a lot more work for you to get it done. That's the whole thing, right? And you don't need to be doing a whole lot of extra work if it doesn't need to be done. So you write down those things that you want, and maybe you get a couple of things that remind you of them. You can get, like, I have little Milagro charms here, y'all, and they have For example, like maybe you want someone that's a good worker. There's a hand milagro that you can put in with your work. Maybe you want someone that has a good head on their shoulders. There's a head milagro. Maybe you want someone that's going to be able to go on adventures. There's a leg milagro. Maybe there's someone that you always want to be able to know that they can provide for you. Well, there's a cow or a pig milagro, right? Get other or little stuffed animals or stuffed figures that go along with what it is that you want. Maybe it's a couple, right? Maybe it's a couple that you put together and stuff like this, and you're praying over that and you're doing the work for that. So this is what I would do. You get your white candle, you get your orange candle, you're praying to your higher power, you're cleansing yourself, you're cleansing the space, you're cleansing your candles, you're cleansing your paper, you're cleansing your pencil, you cleanse whatever other little items that are going to help to draw those things to you. And then I would go ahead and get some orange peel, because orange peel helps open the ways. Then I would go ahead and get some roses, because roses are all about love and it's about beauty, and it's also, if you get one with a little bit of thorns, it's about protecting that love. You can get some, what do we want to say, calendula, because that brings success and that helps bring things in your favor. You could get some cinnamon to make your love a little bit of spicy. You can get some lavender to make it peaceful, right? So pick between those herbs, and also look online. There's all kinds of places online, wherever you think is a good supplier of knowledge, whoever it is that you go to for that kind of stuff, go ahead and go through them. If you want to go through me and there's other questions you have, maybe there's other herbs you want to work with, you can leave a comment. Definitely, I suggest leave a comment. Ask me what it is that you got questions about, and I'll go ahead and do my best or help guide you in the right path of where it is that I think that you should work it. So I'd go ahead and get the paper, write down all those traits, go ahead and get my little homies, whoever it is, whatever little things that I'm going to go ahead and work with, cleanse all those items, focus, sit and write down what it is that I want in the person and all that good stuff, and really focus and concentrate and pray to my higher power for them to open the way for that to happen. The white candle, then I would pray to my higher powers, and I would say, this offering I give to you as payment so that it can help you get the work done that needs to get done. Then I would get my orange candle. This orange candle helps to open the roads and open the ways for me and my love that is strong, that is beautiful, that is healthy in body, mind, spirit, and heart. Then whatever little herbs, and you don't need a lot, and this is why you don't need a lot of herbs, you're going to go ahead and you're going to fold it towards you, because we're drawing something towards us. I'm going to get into this in another video, but as you're drawing these things towards you, you want to fold that paper toward you. You fold it once, 90 degrees. Fold it again, 90 degrees. Fold it again, 90 degrees. Now, what I would recommend is, if you're going to use a little figurine, if you're going to use a little stuffed animal or something like this, I would go ahead and open it a little bit, cut it on the side or however you can get, stick it inside there, leave it on the bed, because that's going to draw that partner to you, to your bed, to your house, right? Like attracts like. So if you're not going to do it that way, what I would do is I'd put the petition paper with my herbs underneath the mattress. Now what I want you guys to do is, after you have it folded up and you have the herbs folded up, let's say that you're not going to use a figurine, put that petition paper under your orange candle. Put it under there, because what's happening is the candle is heating up the work. As the candle burns, not only is, after all the prayers and intentions that you have prayed over this candle, because remember you guys, prayer, prayer, prayer. You pray over this candle to give it to your spirits. You pray over this candle like this, praying over it, for whatever intention you're going to imbibe into that. Because once it goes from your mouth, that energy goes into the candle. When the candle burns, it goes into the universe and it manifests your goal. So I would put my petition underneath the candle, so that way it heats up that work. It keeps that work going. It keeps it feeding it, right? If you were going to have this stuffed animal, I would put the candle next to it. I would put the figurine next to it and still put my petition. And then once the petition's done, then I would put it inside the stuffed animal. If not, like I said, go ahead and wait until the candle's done completely burning down. Then put your petition between your mattress, so that way it draws that person. One other thing that I would add is a magnet, because magnets draw. So get a magnet, cleanse it, pray over it to draw whoever it is, your ideal partner, whoever that is, whatever that looks like for you. Go ahead and put that in a magnet. Magnet would be like definitely, for me, in my opinion, number one thing, because you want to draw that person to you. Or alternatively, you can get a pair of lodestones. Look up what that means, pairing lodestones, and that'll help you out a lot, y'all. If it's for love, and make sure that it's ideal, make sure it's ethical. So, I hope you all enjoyed it. If you got any questions, comments, don't forget to do that down below. And remember to comment, like, subscribe, and share the heck out of this, y'all, for your loved ones that need it. And I really hope this has helped you guys. I hope that it has served you, and I hope that it's given a direction and a little bit of guidance to help you on your journey. Well, y'all, until the next one, have a good day, have a good night, whatever time that you all watch this. But God's bless you. And remember to take care of your spirits, because they'll take care of you. All right, God's bless y'all. Peace.